Hello, Year 2. I've got 3 keen beans that have joined me straight away for the second part of the maths reasoning lesson. I'm currently downloading part 1, so that's an hour's long lesson. We're just going to do this last recording and finish off with our place value section, and then hopefully we'll be able to play a game. There's a game at the end of the PowerPoint which I think should work, so we'll do a bonus game as well. Oh good, I've got somebody else joined me as well. So if you grab your place value answer sheet, and then when we get to the game, I'll just show you how to make your own chart for the last part of the lesson. We'll add it as a bonus section, as you're all very keen, and it's a really long lesson just now. So I'll share my screen and go back to my PowerPoint from this morning. And what you should see is Jasmine and her coins that we just left. So just thinking. Mrs. Stevens, give me a thumbs up when it's ready. Yeah, okay. Mrs. Stevens says, there is Jasmine. And we talked about the 3 coins that she should pick if she wants to have as many sweets as she possibly can. She should pick that 50p because it's worth the most amount of money. The 20 pence because that's the next most. And then the 10 pence so that she has, well, 50 and 20 I know is 70. 70 and 10 I know is 80. So she has 80 pence there to spend on sweets. I just hope she doesn't eat them all at once. All right, let's go on to our place value lesson. So you should have a sheet with the coins on, but if you haven't printed that sheet out, that's fine because my coins appear on my screen just here. And it's exactly the same format as the place value lesson that we did before, where first of all, I'm going to ask you, what I need to do though is make sure you can actually see my cursor. There we go. I'm going to ask you to look at these coins here and work out first of all how many tens you can make from this. And we talked about the fact that last time we did our maths reasoning, we looked at the fact that it's not just the 10p coins you can see, because although I've got one 10p coin here, altogether I've actually got more tens than that. And quite a few of the children, when we were together last, talked about the fact, well, hiding within this 20 pence, you actually have another 2 tens. 2 tens make 20. So if I use these 2 tens and that 10, hopefully you'll be able to write down on your sheets how many tens you've got. We then have to think about how many units there are remaining, how many ones we have got. Now, if you just wrote down the number 3 for 3 tens, you're absolutely right, but you can't leave the units space blank. It has to have a number in it. So how many ones have we got? We've got 0 ones, and that 0 is really important. So do make sure you put that 0 ones in your units column. If, for example, if I just cover that up, if we only had the 3, but you couldn't see the T above it for tens, you would just assume that was 3 as in 3 ones. So it's really important to make sure your 0 units is there. 0 is a really important number when we're writing 2-digit numbers. It shows us that we have 0 ones in this set of money. So we'll go through our questions year 2, and they'll all work in exactly the same way. So have a look at question number 2. And first of all, write down how many tens you can make from this set. There's that 10p really clearly. But can you find any others? I'm hoping that you can, because we just talked about the fact that in 20, 2 tens are hiding. It's not a 10p, but there are 2 tens in 20. So I've got 2 tens here and that 1 10 there, or 2 tens and 1 tens, should tell you how many tens to write in your tens column. I'm not going to show you yet because I want you to do the next bit as well, because then I want you to work out how many ones we've got here. And in just the same way, don't just focus on those 1p coins, because there are some ones hiding here. So think about how many ones you need there and how many 1p's you can see, and put that in your units column or your ones column. How many tens can we make? And how many ones are left over? If you need a bit more time, you can pause the video. I'm going to go ahead and show you the answer. We could make 3 tens, 2 hiding in our 20, plus another 1 10 here in our 10p. Gives us 3 tens all together. And then we can do the same over here. There are 2 ones hiding in my 2p. You need 2 ones to make 2p. That's quite a confusing sentence, isn't it? I'll say it again. You need 2 ones to make 2p. So I've got 2 ones hiding here. And another 1 there, that makes 3. And another 1 there, that makes 4. So I've got 4 ones or 4 units. I'll say it using units as well, just in case that's a little bit clearer. You need 2 units to make 2p. There's another unit hiding here and another unit hiding here. So 2 units, 3 units, 4 units to make our 4 pence. There are no 10p's at all here, but you still need to work out how many tens can you make from this amount of money. In just the same way that we did with our 20p, figure out how many 10p's you can get from this 50p. And once you've worked out how many tens you can make, find out how many ones you've got left over. Write the tens in the tens column on your sheet and the ones in the ones column or the units column. If we count in tens until we get to 50, that will help us work out how many tens there are hiding here. So you can do that on your fingers with me. 5, no, not 5, we're counting in tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I've got 5 fingers up. I confused myself then. I've got 5 tens and then I've got 1 1 left over. Okay, your next question looks like this. Again, you've got no 10p's, but you can still make some. So how many tens can you make from this set here? And when you figure out how many tens you can make, find out how many ones you've got left over. Hopefully you've spotted, and we know that 5 and 5 make 10. Well, if we know 5 and 5 make 10, 5p and 5p must make a 10p. So there's a 10 that we can get just here using this 5 and 5. And that also means, well, if I can make one here, I can see I can also make one there. So I've got a 10 here and a 10 here, which gives me 1 10, 2 tens. So I've got 2 tens. And then if we look at how many ones we've got left over, 2 ones here and 1 1 there, gives me 3 ones altogether. 2 tens and 3 ones. Okay, here's your next question. The first part is to work out how many tens you have got, or how many tens you can make, because I think I can see some hiding there. Now, obviously, I've got this 10 here and that 10 there, but there aren't just 2 tens that I can make, because there are some hiding within this amount here. How many tens can I get from 20 pence? I can use a similar trick to how I worked it out for my 50p, my 5 tens. If I count in tens, but stop when I get to 20, I'll try and get it right this time. 10, 20. I've done it on my fingers and I can see I've got 2 fingers up because there are 2 tens in 20. So there are 2 tens here, plus this 10, that's 3 tens, and that 10, that's 4 tens. So now you know how many tens you've got. Have a look and see how many ones are left over. Make sure you do write that bit in the space. So hopefully you end up with 40 and not just 4 tens. Okay, here's your next question. First of all, find out how many tens you can make from this amount of money. Then work out how many ones you've got left over. Now, if we think back to a couple of questions ago, we worked out how many 10p's there were in 50. And I gave you the answer straight away before I'd even worked it out. So you tell me this time, how many 10p's are there in 50? I told you just now that there were 5. So I've got 5 tens here, plus another 10 there, which should give us 6 tens altogether. Then I need to work out how many ones I've got here. I've got no 1p's at all, but I'll use a similar method to how I just did it there. How many ones do you need or can you get from 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I count on my fingers, I can see I've got 5 fingers up because there are 5 ones. And I do the same here. 1, 2. I've now got 2 more fingers up because there are 2 ones in 2. 5 ones plus 2 ones will give me 7 ones altogether. So I've got 6 tens and 7 ones or units. 67p is what I had altogether. How about this one? There's your next question. Figure out how many tens you can make from this set, and then how many ones you've got left over. If you need to pause the video and have more time, do. I'm going to go ahead and talk about these 2 coins here because neither of them is a 10 pence. But I know now how many tens there are in 50. We worked it out in the last question. I know there are 5 tens here. And we've worked out this coin as well. We know how many tens there are in 20. There are 2 tens in 20. 5 tens and 2 tens gives me 7 tens altogether. I've got 70 pence. That's 7 tens. Then I can do the same here. We just worked out how many ones there are in 5. There are 5 ones in 5, and then another 1 there, which will give me 6 ones altogether. And that should be the last question on your place value sheet. So if I finish sharing my screen, we have got a game that we can play as well. It's called the Gremlins game. And I know you haven't got this sheet, so I thought we'd do it just for fun, because it's really easy to make the chart. All you need is a chart with just spaces on it where you can write down how many have been won and how many have been lost. So you'll see it says first run, that's just the first round. And then you just need 3 little spaces, game 1, game 2, and a final score space. And you can see that I've already started writing down. I'll tell you how to do that when you see the game. But if you just get yourself a piece of paper and just write sort of game 1, game 2, and final at the top, then we can play the Gremlins game just for a bit of fun at the end. You don't have to do all of the rows because we can just do it underneath those 3 headings. So just a space with game 1 and then some space underneath, game 2 and some space underneath, and final score and some space underneath as well. The red bits you'll do in a moment. So if you want to play along, you can play just by watching if you want to and shouting out loud, but you might just need to keep a couple of numbers in your head. So I'll go back to my PowerPoint. Hopefully Mrs. Stevens will tell me that you can see the PowerPoint again. And we will go with our Gremlin game. Now, it goes through the instructions first of all. And the game goes like this. The Gremlins game. If you hit a gremlin, here's the gremlin, and it disappears, then you win a point. I'll tell you how to hit them in a minute. So if you hit a gremlin and it disappears, you win a point. But if you hit a spaceship and it turns around like that, then you lose a point. Okay? So here are 3 gremlins. You need to grab yourself an imaginary ball. So an imaginary ball, not a real ball. Do not throw a real ball at your screen. So pick up an imaginary ball and you're going to pretend to throw it at the screen. Be careful not to hit your screen though, Itty. So, ready? I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, go, and you can throw your ball. What you're trying to do is hit one of these gremlins with your imaginary ball. Okay, are you ready? 3, 2, be really careful. 1, go! Hit that screen with that imaginary ball. Now, what you should have noticed was that those 3 gremlins disappeared. So, remember, when you hit a gremlin with your imaginary ball, you win some points. So decide, did you win or lose? You write a W for win and an L for lose. So you write the letter. Then you write down how many gremlins disappeared. So I've got the next slide to show you. So game 1, we would write W3 because we won 3 points. So game 1 is W3. This is just a practice. Win 3 points. Here's what you do if you lose points. So here are those spaceships. You want to try and avoid those because if they spin round, it means that we lose a point. So again, grab your imaginary ball and pretend to throw it at the screen in 3, 2, 1, go. Pretend to throw your ball. Okay, they both span round. So again, think about, did you win or lose? Write the letter. So W if you won points, L if we lost points. And then write down how many points we lost because we did lose that time. So here it is, game 2. We've still got W3, so on the same row, you can then write L2 because we lost 2 points. And then what you do is you work out your final score. It's a bit like the inversion that we were doing first thing this morning. If we won 3, but then lost 2, overall, we still win by 1 point because our 3 points that we won, or we then have to take away 2 because we lost 2, but we're still winning because we still won 1 point. Okay, so that's how this game works. That was a practice run. And what we do is we compare how many we won in the first game or lost in the first game, and then how many we won or lost in the second game, and then we can work out a final score from that. So we're adding and subtracting just small numbers by comparing. Okay, here we go for real then. This is your first run. So it's like the first round of the game. The other one was just a practice. Here are 4 gremlins. So with your imaginary ball, you need to try and hit those with your imaginary ball, and then watch carefully to see how many points we win. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Throw that imaginary ball. Okay, think about how many did we win or lose. 4 of them disappeared, so that's good. That's a W for a win. But win, how many points? Write that down somewhere or keep that number in your head. And here's our second game. Again, throw that imaginary ball. Try and hit those 2 gremlins. 3, 2, 1. Throw your imaginary ball. There we go. Interesting. Okay. So think about whether we won or lost and how many we did. Hopefully you noticed that we won 4 points by knocking down those 4 gremlins. And then we won 2 points. So if we add those together, we win 4 and win 2. How many do we win altogether in the end? Win 4 and win 2 gives us a win of 6. Okay, our second round goes like this. Here are some spaceships. You can try and avoid the spaceships, but you can throw that imaginary ball at your screen in 3, 2, 1. Oh, now we lost some points there, so they all span round. Figure out how many we lost. So that's an L for lose, and then work out how many points we lost. So here's our second game for round 2. 3, 2, 1, avoid the spaceship. Oh, someone hit it. So think about how many points we lost there. We lost 5, and then we lost another 1. Think about how many we won or lost. Did we win any? Don't think we did. We lost 5 and lost 1. So the final score of lose 6. We lost 6 altogether. We've got 2 more rounds of this. So round number 3. Here's our first game for round number 3. Try and hit our gremlins with your imaginary balls. 3, 2, 1, go. Excellent. Okay, so think about, did we win or lose and how many we won or lost? Here's our second round. Try and avoid that spaceship. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we hit that spaceship. So have a think about what we got in game 1 and what we got in game 2, and then we'll work out our final score. So in game 1, we won 3 points. We knocked down those 3 gremlins. But in game 2, we lost some points. We lost 1. So have a think about what that would do to our final score. Have a think about what losing this 1 point does to our original number, just like in inversion. If we won 3, but then lost 1, we end up winning 2 altogether. We had 3, we lost 1. So we're still winning with 2. Okay, our fourth run is the last run that we're going to do. So here we go with our gremlins. Try and hit those gremlins down. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, brilliant. Think about how many points we won there. Oh, though, try and avoid these spaceships. 3, 2, 1. Okay, they both span round, so that means we've lost on this one and on that one. Have a think about then what we got for game 1. There were 5 gremlins. We managed to knock them all down. So we've won 5. In game 2, there were 2 spaceships. They both span round. So we lost 2. So now think about that final score. If we win 5, but lose 2, what score are we on in the end? If we had 5, but we lost 2, we're still winning, but this time we're only winning by 3 points. Oh, I thought that was the last one. There's another one here. So the 5th run is the last one to do. 5th run, last one. Here we have our 3 gremlins. Try and knock them down. 3, 2, 1. Excellent, well done. So think about how many points we've won there. Then 3 spaceships, try and avoid them. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Think about our game 1. and how many we won. Game 2, and how many we lost. And then what our final score will be. We had those 3 gremlins for game 1. We hit them all down, so we won 3. For game 2, we had those 3 spaceships. They did all spin round, so we did then lose 3 points. So think about that, what that does to our final score. If we win 3, but then lose 3, compare those 2 numbers. It means we end up with a final score of 0. That is the Gremlins game. It does appear on some of the other maths reasoning PowerPoints that we do, so we'll play it again another time, hopefully when we're all together. That then is the end of our maths lesson. That's all the maths reasoning we are doing today, but I know you've got a couple of other assignments that are in your assignments tab, so I'll look forward to seeing your photographs and sheets that you send me later. But we have a phonics lesson this afternoon, which I'll put up, and I hopefully will see some of you in our PSHE lesson. But for now, goodbye, you two.